passed, bounced, or hit. We're talking about it. It's All Sports Talk. From the Preps to MTSU, we've got you covered. All Sports Talk is on News Radio WGNS.
And good afternoon, everyone. Welcome into All Sports Talk on this beautiful Monday in Murfreesboro. It's October, mid-October. The fall season has been good to us, Jeff, the last few days because it is got a little nip in the air.
I was thinking about that driving over here, and I thought, it's chilly. And then I thought, it's been a long time since I've said the word it's chilly. But it is. You got to have a long sleeve, pretty much.
Well, I'm in short sleeves, and you're in a sweatshirt, so I don't know what that means, but there we go.
Okay.
You paying attention to the baseball playoffs?
Yeah, I played. Yeah, some. Yeah, it's going to be the Dodgers, of course, which I guess everybody in the country sort of predicted, didn't they? I guess, maybe, back at the first of the year.
They were the odds-on favorite for sure.
Yeah, and we don't know about the other one. I'm hoping for the Mariners, but they are on the road tonight in Toronto, so we'll see.
Game 7 should be a good one to watch. Toronto, Jeff, can bash the baseball for sure, and should be good to go. Ohtani had a pretty good ball game. What, Friday night last week?
I guess so. Yeah, hit
whatever
two,
night it was. 3 home runs and pitched about 5 or 6 shutout innings. The guy's incredible. You're really getting 2 all-stars or beyond for the price of one with him. Now he's getting well paid, well compensated, right? At about.
I'm pretty sure he is. Yes, yeah. But in the playoffs, he has not been doing well at all until the other night. The other night, of course, he was super. I mean, he struck out a lot of times in the playoffs, but he had a great year too. And I guess it's going to be the MVP. I don't know. I think it's between 2 or 3 different people. So
there's always a debate. Are you better off by playing? The Dodgers will have had about a week before they'll get a game in when the World Series begin, or to play on through the way the Seattle-Toronto teams will be going into the World Series itself. I think I like the idea of rest, frankly.
Okay.
You?
I don't know. I never have really thought of it very much. I like to keep playing if I can, but now if you, of course, the key, as you well know, is you want to keep your pitching rotation consistent and steady, and hopefully everybody is doing their job. And if they are, after all, you are, in the case of, you're one of the top teams, then it must be paying off for you to do that.
I don't think I know this for sure, but I think I'm right in saying the Braves are making a change of manager.
Yes, I think so.
Okay, all right.
I don't know when, though.
You in for the job?
I absolutely no. I don't think so.
What do you think about Tony Vitello from Tennessee looking like he's going to be the Giants manager, moving from college to the professional ranks? I can't recall the last time if that's ever happened before.
It has happened before, but it's been a long time since the pros have gone down into the college ranks and picked up a manager, maybe a coach or something. Yes, but I don't remember. It seemed like to me that the Oakland A's did it one year, but that was a long time ago. I don't know of anybody else. There may be somebody, but I don't know of any.
A little closer to home, the debate sometimes comes about high school coaches moving into the college ranks. Gary Rankin, a highly successful coach here in Murfreesboro for a while, and now has moved on to different places and been very. Kevin Creasy at Oakland has been ultra successful. The idea of that kind of move, I just made the point to someone who suggested Larry Creasy would. Excuse me. I'm thinking about the Siegel High School principal, Kevin Creasy, at Oakland. Should be given the opportunity at, let's say, in Middle Tennessee, for example. Rick Hensel did it, but I made the point out that is far and few between. That we're really talking about 2 different job skills, don't you think? Mindsets and whatever. But these guys can coach. The question is, can they do the recruiting process that you have to do on a national It's just hard to say.
It's very difficult to say, and if you go into college, and I'm not saying anything about anybody that's ever done this sort of thing, okay? But you're in a high school coach, all right, and you go into college coaching. The first thing you're going to have to do now, more than ever, is you're going to have to recruit like crazy. Well, a lot of people don't like that. And then you're going to have to be on campus. You've got all these social events to go to, and you're going to have to teach some classes, no question, on campus, maybe during the summer, don't know. A lot of times high school coaches, the money is not there maybe to compensate them. They just don't want to do that. Now, I do agree, though, that because of his tremendous success at Shelbyville, Rick Insell was an exception to that. He was a local guy, been here in either Cannon County, Bedford County, or Rutherford County all his life. That worked for him, but he's an exception.
I made a point, again, the same way. I think it's easier for that to happen in basketball than it would be maybe in football because of the numbers of players that you have to deal with and so forth. Football is just a mass operation of 100 as opposed to 12, 15 kids where 2 or 3 great players can make a difference in basketball, 2 or 3 great players in football, not going to get you over the hump.
I think that's probably correct. And when I think, of course, you mentioned Gary Rankin, and I wouldn't want to limit I will limit my comments to one person, but there have been more than one that could have done that in Rutherford County. And I would say that you could have picked Randy King up at Oakland and taken him somewhere, and he would have been successful as a basketball coach. I don't think there's any question about it. Now, I don't know why that didn't happen, but either he didn't want a job, didn't want to leave. I don't know. But I think he would have been an exception. We've had others that probably could have done it.
Tons. Riverdale girls basketball, for example, had 3 or 4 state champions in 4 seasons with 4 different coaches. None of those chose to move into college ranks.
All of them are I think, still coaching somewhere in the high school ranks. That's correct.
Jennifer Grandstaff comes up as well, ultra successful at both Oakland and now at Blackman High School. Has made no illusions to move into the college ranks at all. So there's a mindset that seems to be preventative of that. Well, all that said, we move into crunch time as far as high school football is concerned. To some degree, Jeff, we're moving into the playoffs as we speak for seeding purposes, for getting into spots, games that now will matter. Do we get in or where we're going to be?
This is the time of year when it happens. We've eliminated a couple. We've got 2 or 3 that are really, well, I guess everybody that's left are jockeying for position in the next couple of weeks. That would be correct, and it starts this weekend. We
still looking at the number 4 squad in this region here in 6A. Looks like, best I can recall in my show prep, Rockvale's in a little better shape than anybody else, but they still got a little work to do.
Well, indeed they do. They've got Riverdale, and they've beaten Riverdale in the past. That has happened. So it's not like we're talking about something that's not going to take place. It could easily take place. As a matter of fact, the ball game's at Rockvale, and do I think Rockvale will win? No, probably not. But the last time I went out there to see a ball game, Rockvale and Rockvale, I didn't think they'd win that night either, and they did. So we just can't tell.
And we've all but crowned Oakland king, but they're not there yet because they got to beat Riverdale.
That's right.
At the end of the season, along the way. So lots yet to be done. But this weekend games. Let's take a break. We'll come back. Let's let you give the results and the upcoming schedule. How's that sound?
I can do it. I got it all written down right here.
All right. We'll take a break on All Sports Talk.
Do your sinus infections always seem to come back no matter what you do? The pressure builds, the headaches drag on, the congestion makes it hard to sleep, hard to focus, hard to feel like yourself. Here's what most people don't actually know. Sinus infections keep coming back because your sinuses can't fully drain. That's why the pressure, the headaches, and the congestion keep coming back time and time again. Balloon sinuplasty gently opens your sinuses in a quick, in-office procedure, so the infections can finally clear. At Murfreesboro Sinus Center, they've helped thousands of patients break free from the sinus infection cycle so you can breathe easier, sleep better, and finally feel like yourself again. Don't wait another season fighting sinus pain. Call Murfreesboro Sinus Center today at 615-649-4590 to see if balloon sinuplasty is right for you. Call 615-649-4590. That's 615-649-4590.
Every team knows which play can be a winning move. I'm State Farm Agent Andy Womack, here to help life go right by combining your home and auto insurance. Call me today at 615-890-0850. It's a winning move that saves you time and money. Your ride, your stuff. You live with them together. I'm State Farm Agent Andy Womack. It's smart to protect them together to help life go right. Give me a call at 615-890-0850 and let me help you save by combining your auto and renters.
Jennings and Ayers Funeral Home has served Murfreesboro families with compassion and care since 1880. As a family-owned funeral home, we're committed to honoring every life with dignity through traditional services, cremation options, and pre-planning that gives you peace of mind. For over 140 years, we've been here when it matters most. Visit JenningsandAyers.com. Jennings and Ayers Funeral Home, honoring life and comforting families since 1880.
All Sports Talk on News Radio WGNS on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at WGNSradio.com.
On with Jeff Jordan. Jeff brought to you by Pans Heating and Air and Lee Colvin Financial Services with Edward Jones. We have a caller on the line, Mr. Jordan, so let's go to it right now. We hope.
All right.
There we go.
All right, guys. How you doing?
Got it. Doing well.
I just want to say, you guys talking about the last spot. There still could be, if this happens. And I'm not saying that we have had. If Riverdale beats Oakland the last week, which you do know, all the games that week are going to be on Thursday night. All the region games will be. It could be, depending on what Blackman does, but it could be a three-way tie. Because
correct.
Oakland will have beaten Blackman, and Blackman will have beaten Riverdale, and Riverdale will have beaten Oakland.
Sure.
They'll have one loss. I don't know how they would, if that does happen, I don't know how they would seed them out as far as, 1, 2, 3 for the playoffs. I don't know how they would how the tiebreakers go as far as all that goes. But and the fourth, like you said, the fourth seed is still, it's anybody. I mean, I think Rockville has the inside track. They're 4-4. I don't know. They got to play Riverdale this week. I don't know who they play the next week. I know Smyrna plays Laverne and Stewart's Creek. So, and then Stewart's Creek got Oakland this week. So it's still, anybody. What I wanted to ask you guys, one thing surprised me last week was Eagleville going to Huntland and winning as much as they did. Were you surprised at that?
Yes. First of all, anytime there's margins that large at this time of the year, Jeff, I'm a little surprised by it, but not shocked.
I feel pretty much the same. Eagle will put up 44 points. That's a lot in Huntland, where Eagleville is absolutely despised. But at any rate, Huntland scored one touchdown, so it must be an unusually weak Huntland team. I don't know anything about them.
I know they play Zions Christian this week, and they go to Family, and I'm not sure. I don't know. They could possibly. I don't know what their statement. But they could possibly host a game. I don't know if they'll finish 1 or 2 in that region. I don't know.
I don't know either.
I'm not sure what the standings are. I know I watched them play Moore County, and they've got a running back, Jordan, that had a big night. He had a big night against Huntland too. But I mean, they've got some linemen. Jeff, they've got some freshmen. They've got one kid that's, I want to say his number 77. And this guy, I watched him play in a scrimmage. They played Candy Cane in a scrimmage. And I asked Coach Walker about him, and he said he worked hard no entry. He said this kid can be special. He said if he can weight room and all this stuff, they've got about 5 or 6, I believe that's right, freshman linemen that could be really good, really good.
Great for the future.
They've got some other big quarterback and all that other stuff, but I mean they could be really good here. Their line could be good up front here in a couple of years. They could really be good. And of course, but it depends on who will make it. I think there's a lot of teams that are kind of on the cusp, maybe, and then ones that aren't. I would ask you that. I would ask you guys. I would ask you the biggest surprises that you've seen this year in the county. I'll say not biggest surprise, but a little bit of surprise is Rockvale, where they're at right now in the first year with counts. And I'll just hang up and listen to you guys. Thank you.
First thing that came to my mind, surprise on the downside of things, I expected Smyrna to be better than they've shown to be. Jeff, that'd be the one that immediately jumped to my top for me.
I don't know. Rockvale did something this week that not done very often. They beat Tullahoma 39-38, and I'm delighted that happened. But that margin surprised me that they scored 39 points, or that Tullahoma scored 38 for that matter. But and you're right about Smyrna. You always expect Smyrna to be 500 or better, and they're not going to make that this year probably.
Well, go through the scores and schedule before we take a next break.
Scores: Middle Tennessee Christian School 35, Tipton Rosemark 28, Blackman 35, Smyrna 7, Eagleville 44, Huntland 7, Webb School, that would be Knox Webb, 51-7 over Stewart's Creek, Oakland 56-0 over Laverne, Riverdale 37, Siegel 0, Rockvale 39, Tullahoma 38, and PCA 49, Providence Academy 14. Those are the scores from this past week. Now, you want me to go on with the schedule?
Of course.
Okay, the schedule for this week, and I don't know too much about this, but in this week and next week, quite often teams will schedule a Thursday night game, and it's not on the schedule at the beginning of the year, and you don't really know. So I would be really careful. But here's the schedule. Blackman is at Siegel, Eagleville at Zion Christian, Laverne at Smyrna. That game, I understand, will be on WGNS with Brian Barrett and John Dinkins. Stewart's Creek's at Oakland. PCA is at Concord Christian, and Riverdale is at Rockvale. And I would say that there's some pretty good matchups in there, I think. And I think the Riverdale-Rockvale game, schools being so close and that kind of thing, would be a very good game to go to. But there are others.
Jeff, it doesn't seem possible, but I'm adding this up in my brain. This will be the 37th meeting between Smyrna and Laverne.
I know. I know what's coming next, too.
Going back to 1988. That's just hard. Again, it's hard for me to believe it's been that long. And if I'm not mistaken, Laverne's won once.
That's correct. And it was a shutout, I believe. And it's not like they've been just trampled every week. There've been some close games in there.
Sure.
But they've never been able to pull one out. And I suspect that unless they can find some magic that they haven't found yet, they won't find any this week either. But maybe they will. I don't know. It's a high school football. Who knows?
It does fall in the category of anything's possible when those two teams get together, but it's almost been impossible for Laverne to win it.
That's unfortunately for Laverne. That is correct, and the Laverne has got some problems with the football program, and I wouldn't sit here and be a very good broadcaster if I tried to say what all of them are, but there are a number of them, and somehow or another they're going to have to attack that.
Inconsistency in the coaching staff is really high amongst that, wouldn't you think?
Yes.
There's been numerous coaches, I dare not even think about the number in the last 20 years that have been at Laverne High School.
That's right, and many of them, and I can think of 5 or 6 right now that weren't there very long, and when they went somewhere else, they were immediately successful. And it's just problems.
All right, Chip Walters has the Blue Raider Insider Report coming right up on All Sports Talk.
Hey, Jim, where'd you source out those maters from?
Right out of my field. Still had mud on them this morning.
50 fresh, flavorful seasons at the Rutherford County Farmers Market, Lane Agri Park in Murfreesboro on John R. Rice Boulevard.
The Rutherford County Farmers Market. No middlemen, just local hands and local dirt.
Good afternoon again. A little bit heavier the last few minutes up through the Madison area, right on schedule actually. 65 north here at Briley Parkway. As you continue up north of town, there on 65, it is slow trying to get past Rivergate Parkway. As it starts to build right on schedule, 65 south over here at Harding Place, all that traffic trying to get down into Williamson County. Hey, when you need dependable towing for your car, big truck, make sure you call STR Towing and Recovery here in Middle Tennessee. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
If you're not waking up to the Wake Up Crew, here's what you've been missing.
Did you know I can make noise with my left eye? I was trying to get it on the microphone. Oh, you did?
Weekday mornings from 6 until Swap and Shop.
Clark's Auction Company will get you top dollar for your property.
Auctions are easy, fast, and profitable.
Whether you're buying or selling a home or commercial property, the auction is just so much easier, quicker, smoother.
My wife and I sold our personal home. Parks Auction helped us with that. The house brought about 20% more than we were going to ask for.
Visit parksauction.com.
Clark's Auction Company will get you top dollar for your property.
Clark's Auction Company, committed to auction excellence.
Told it to you, 27.5.
The Blue Raider Insider Report with Chip Walters of Exit Realty, Bob Lamb and Associates is brought to you by RAI Advisors and 9-Team Insurance. The report is coming up after this.
You're listening to the flagship station for Blue Raiders sports.
On 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown, Middle Tennessee!
Play up and score!
Middle Tennessee football, basketball, and baseball. Yeah, we got them.
You're listening to the flagship station for Blue Raider Athletics. I'm Chip Walters. Hear the games here on News Radio WGNS. Middle Tennessee wins! Raiders win the championship!
Your source for the Big Blue and the Borough. News Radio WGNS. All sports talk on News Radio WGNS on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at WGNSradio.com.
Well, good afternoon, everybody, and let's talk Blue Raider football. It's back to work for Coach Derek Mason and his ball club. The Blue Raiders had last Wednesday off. They were back in action this Wednesday at Delaware. It'll be the first time the two teams have met since 1978. Delaware comes in 3-3 overall, 1-2 in Conference USA play. Middle is 1-5 overall, 0-2 in conference play. The Blue Raiders and Fightin' Blue Hens will square off at the Delaware Stadium. And the quarterback, Nick Minicucci, is coming off a career game in which he threw for 422 yards in a loss at Jacksonville State. But that 422-yard night cemented himself as Conference USA's passing leader. He's averaging 299 yards a game. And he looks to help Delaware snap a 2-game losing streak. On the other side, of course, Middle's backfield duo of Nick Vattiato and Jaquel Middlebrook have remained consistent during their current losing streak, and hope that continued success does lead to wins. The Blue Raiders will also look to keep the pressure against Minicucci and the Delaware offense after the Blue Raiders tallied 4 sacks and 9 tackles for loss against Missouri State. The game is at 6:30 Central Time. We'll be on the air Wednesday at 5:30 from Newark, Delaware. Coming up tomorrow night, 2 games on the schedule. Kennesaw State will be at FIU. Kennesaw now 4-2 overall, unbeaten in Conference USA play. They have beaten Middle and Louisiana Tech. FIU is 3-3 overall. They're 1-1 in the league. They're coming off a huge win over Western Kentucky last week. Speaking of the Hilltoppers, they are on the road at Louisiana Tech. Western 5-2 overall, 3-1 in the league. Louisiana Tech 4-2 overall, 2-1 in the league. The other game on Wednesday night will have Missouri State playing at New Mexico State. Missouri State 3-3, 1-1 in the league. New Mexico State 3-3 overall. They are 1-2 in conference play. And of course, all 4 of those games this week, Tuesday and Wednesday, are on national television. Turning to Blue Raiders soccer, Middle Tennessee on Senior Day had a great day, knocking off UTEP 4-0 at Dean Hayes Track and Soccer Stadium. Middle Tennessee now 9-5-3 overall, 4-2-1 in Conference USA. Senior forward Aiden Cavalli got the Blue Raiders on the board early, netting her first goal of the season in the 18th minute on a feed from senior forward Emma Pedersen. After taking a 1-0 lead into halftime, Middle exploded for 3 goals in a 5-minute span late in the second half. Junior Hannah Murphy doubled the advantage in the 78th minute. The scoring was capped in the 83rd when senior Yana Yordanova slotted home her second goal of the season, assisted by Megan Carroll and graduate Sandra Segovia Del Hoyo. Middle Tennessee with the win. As we mentioned, improved to 9 wins overall. The Blue Raiders will travel to Kennesaw State on Saturday to take on the Owls at Fifth Third Bank Stadium. Also, volleyball dropped a Saturday decision in 5 sets to Liberty after winning in 5 sets on Friday. The volleyball team will be back in action later on this week as they travel out to New Mexico. And also Middle Tennessee baseball took on the number 1 junior college team in the nation yesterday. That was Walters State, and each Blue Raider pitcher threw for an inning in a 14-inning battle, and the Blue Raiders got the win over Walters State at Reese Smith Junior Field. That's it for today, folks. We'll have Derek Mason live coming up at 6 o'clock right here on the Big G, WGNS.
Are you paying hundreds of dollars too much for your home and auto insurance? Let the team at My Team Insurance help, a true independent insurance agency that represents you in protecting your home, your cars, your business, your life, and your health. Call My Team Insurance today, 895-4201. That's 895-4201. Proud to be sponsoring the Blue Raiders and proud to say, let's go Blue.
Whether you need general vehicle upkeep and maintenance or a complete vehicle overhaul, Hall's Auto Care is here for you. We're locally owned and operated by Greg Hall and have been in business since 2014. You'll get excellent service and trustworthy advice with Hall's Auto Care. A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau. We're ready to help get you safely on the road. Hall's Auto Care, 907 Ridgely Road, just off Broad Street behind Chili's. Online at hallsautocare.net. Hall's Auto Care.
All Sports Talk on News Radio WGNS on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at WGNSradio.com.
Tim Tackett along with Jeff Jordan. Jeff brought to you by Fans Heating and Air and Lee Collin Financial Services with Edward Jones. Derek Mason live 6 o'clock tonight from the Boulevard. You can listen to it right here on WGNS, or you certainly welcome down there to be part of the audience that takes place. Middle Tennessee goes to Delaware Wednesday night for another midweek game on Conference USA for TV purposes, and the following Wednesday they play at home. Jeff, the season has not gone at all well, for sure. Was just the one win. A week off oftentimes can help and so forth. If they're going to make anything of the season, Jeff, they've got to make a run right now.
That's true. I saw Delaware, and perhaps you did too. They were on TV last week, and I don't remember who they were playing, and I do know that they lost the game. But I watched only the first half, and they were very unimpressive. They just couldn't do much. Now, I think the second half, they had a pretty good second half. So if that means anything, we've never played them before, have we? I don't think.
Not in Conference USA. It seems like it may have been basketball, because I remember the Blue Hens. I thought, what a nickname that is. There's few that rival that in my mind. But it seems like we have played them in football maybe a time or two in the past, but it's been way in the past and all that to be the situation. But Coach Mason will take his ball club up there on Wednesday night and hopefully come back with the win. It will be on TV. The kick time is 6:30.
Well, I'm hopeful as you are every time they take the field that we're going to get a break or two. We don't seem we make many breaks for ourselves. We just seem like we're unlucky, and I don't like that term because you make your own luck a lot of times. But I'd like to see us play better for sure.
Offense has been a struggle all season long, and defensively, it seems like they're probably good enough there to win some games. If the offense could be a little bit more productive,
I guess that's fair. And we had a great opportunity to win this last one.
Sure.
And I would remind whoever's listening out there that I don't generally criticize coaches. There's just not much need. It's generally unproductive, particularly for me. But I really do. I wish I'd called the last 5 or 6 plays. Okay?
Yeah.
Because we did the wrong thing every single time. All 5, 6 plays. And then he misses a field goal, which was makeable, yes. But we could have made it more makeable with a little support there, but we didn't.
Well, every call that does not work is a bad call.
Yeah, okay.
That's kind of the way that works itself out. They've been successful, but when you're 1-5, Jeff, it's second guessing becomes a fun game for fans to do for sure because everything becomes that way. But we'll see how that works itself out. Western Kentucky looms in the future here in about 3 weeks, and you got that look already across your forehead.
Right. We just maybe that's going to happen to us. Maybe we're going to get all our breaks and all our luck in one game, and maybe it'll be that one. So let's hope so.
Well, looking ahead, Sunday afternoon, Lady Raiders will make their first appearance on the floor in an exhibition game situation. We've been all wondering what kind of season it will be and who the players are going to be that will get the playing time. I suspect we'll see all 13 or 14 girls on show Sunday for sure. But I think I'll walk away with a better idea, at least in my mind, as to where the production is going to come from.
I would think so, and I noticed too, much to my surprise, really, that we were picked third by somebody, and they had the whole conference picked, and we were third, and I believe, okay, if that's what they say, but I believe we're going to contend for everything.
Well, it's hard to pick a team as tradition rich as Middle Tennessee is when you don't have a starter, not one,
right,
coming back. It's kind of hard to put them in the 1 or 2, or even the third spot in lots of ways. If it was anybody else in the conference besides Middle Tennessee, Jeff, that had no starters coming back, there's no way they'd be picked to be third. That's going on. Rick Insell is still there. He's not a starter, but he's still there.
I think we're going to finish third or higher. I'll predict. Okay.
Well, I don't know. I haven't bothered to take a look. Jeff, the last 20 years, when's the last time Middle Tennessee did not finish third or higher?
I don't know. It's been a long time.
I'd say that's not happened in the last 20 years.
Probably not. I guess that's right.
I have to go back and look at that. I think we've averaged 22, 23 wins over that period and 19 straight years of going to postseason play.
Yeah, I think that's correct. Yes.
So
you're predicting they'll be third or higher as well.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I'm just saying if I'm a sports writer in Delaware, a new team to Conference USA, and they put out the scoop on things, and here's the teams and the number of starters back and the players, you got 37% of your offense back and 62% of your rebounds back, and in Middle Tennessee's case they got 0% of any of those things coming back. How in Delaware do you pick Middle Tennessee to finish 1, 2, or 3?
So you don't.
So you don't.
Yeah, I see
now,
that.
If you're in Bowling Green,
Yeah, right.
In Louisiana Tech, FIU, those schools they're going to know, but Missouri State, sports writer out there, what do you mean? You get no starters coming back and we're going to pick up third? You got to be crazy. Men do not play exhibition games, but they will be on the field, on the floor on, am I right, October 30th? Does that sound right? I think it's I'll look it up.
The first home game, I think, is an exhibition game on November 5th. And it's not an exhibition game either. It's a game.
They do have an open scrimmage, I think.
Okay.
A week from Thursday. I'll look it up, the date to be sure. At 4:30 in the afternoon. I've been to a women's practice or 2 or 3, actually 3 or 4. I've not been to a men's. They're not open for the general public to come and see. So I really don't know how to comment there, but I did speak with someone yesterday who I do trust. What kind of men's team we're going to have? He said, we think we're going to be pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
So
I've heard that too.
So time will tell. I'm anxious to see how that works itself out. Season tickets are on sale. Hope that folks get out and get those taken care of. The season, as you mentioned, will start in earnest in November.
Well, a pet peeve of mine, and I had all kinds of, I had reasons, good reasons. But I wanted paper tickets. But last year I wanted paper tickets, and I absolutely was denied paper tickets by the university that I've got 3 degrees from. So I couldn't get paper tickets. And this year I just absolutely insisted. Well, it turns out now I can get paper tickets as long as I pay for paper tickets.
Mm-hmm.
So I've paid the extra amount for the women and the men paper tickets and so forth. And you do have men and women play Auburn here this year.
Correct.
And UT here this year.
Women.
Yeah, so throw those games in, and it's a very attractive schedule. And you can get those paper tickets as well. So I got paper tickets. I hope everybody can get paper tickets. Demand paper tickets, folks.
Jeff, even I've learned how to work the online tickets. And young people like our board op here, Jeff's got to be thinking, paper tickets, what are those?
Maybe. I don't know. I guess that's a thought. But in my defense, I know people saying, well, why is he... My granddaughter goes... I have about 6 or 7 people in my family, besides myself and my wife, that like to go.
Sure.
And so we want 2 extra tickets. Well, they show up on your phone.
Yes.
So you've got to send them from your phone to her phone. And we never know whose phone and who's going to show up. And it's a problem. I'm sorry. Also, it's not my phone. It's
now,
my
it
wife's
strikes
phone.
me that makes it all the more reason to be able to do it by phone as opposed to trying to find some way to hand them to somebody.
Okay. All right. You may be right. You probably are right.
Because I have 6 football tickets, for example. And so which 6 are going to go, it's a lot easier for me to punch them out and send them to Nashville than say I'll leave them in the mailbox. But that's a debate for another day, Jeff.
It is another day.
All right. Let's take a break. We'll come back and get into I don't know what after the break.
Baseball.
At Creekside Assisted Living of Murfreesboro, we provide excellence in service while maintaining the dignity of our residents in a home-like atmosphere. Come see our new community, which includes bistros, salons, a library, and spacious activity areas. A kind, friendly, and well-trained staff can help residents with the daily activities of life. Locally owned by Blue Raider alumni Tim Keach and Kent Ayer. Find out more about Creekside Assisted Living, 895-3002, or online at www.creeksideassistedliving.com.
Listen each weekday morning at 9 o'clock for the Roundtable here on News Radio WGNS. Interesting hosts and guests with the news, views, politics, sports, and people that are shaping Rutherford County. Here on News Radio WGNS.
This is Chip Walters, and I'm honored to be your 2024 MTAR Realtor of the Year. I'm with Exit Realty Bob Lamb & Associates, and like many of you, I've seen the real estate market shift and change. People often ask, Chip, what's really going on? Well, that's a great question, and I believe in answering with solid factual data. So let's cut through some of the noise. I invite you to reach out. Let's have a conversation about your real estate goals and the current market trends in your neighborhood. You can find all my contact information at choosechip.net.
Good afternoon again. A little bit heavier the last few minutes up through the Madison area, right on schedule actually. 65 north here at Briley Parkway. As you continue up north of town, there on 65, it is slow trying to get past Rivergate Parkway as it starts to build right on schedule. 65 south over here at Harding Place, all that traffic trying to get down into Williamson County. Hey, when you need dependable towing for your car, big truck, make sure you call STR Towing and Recovery here in Middle Tennessee. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
We do it your way at Sir Pizza.
Join the team at Murfreesboro's favorite pizza restaurant. Sir Pizza is now hiring at all 3 locations. Come by and be part of the team at Sir Pizza.
All Sports Talk on News Radio WGNS on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at WGNSradio.com.
Welcome back to the final segment of All Sports Talk. Tim Tackett along with Jeff Jordan. Jeff brought to you by Fans Heating and Air, Lee Coffin Financial Services with Edward Jones. Jeff, I think you'll agree with me that there's more to a football or basketball game to go to than just the game itself. The band.
Oh, yeah. I agree.
Middle Tennessee has a new director this year for the Band of Blue, Dr. Brian Brow. His name... looking forward to what he's got to do. But I just want to point out that for 62 years, Middle Tennessee has hosted what's called the Contest of Champions, which is a marching band contest that takes place at the stadium on Saturday, and invite folks that are familiar with that to make their way out. It should be a good weekend of high school marching bands. I think 25 bands will be on the showcase for that, and it starts, I don't know for sure, but something like 10 or 10:30 in the morning. And lasts kind of all day long, so it's a nice day of entertainment. And some folks might be interested in going out to check that out.
Or if you're not interested in that, and I can understand, it's a constant thing there on that day. And I have been to that, and it is, boy, I tell you what, it's an extravaganza.
It is.
It absolutely is. But if you're not into that, but you are sort of into a band, the Middle Tennessee Band is extremely entertaining. They are very good, and just about every year that I've seen them, they have been just really good. And my grandson Skylar refuses to go home until he's at least seen the band. So he stays through halftime, even though he's, of course, he ought to be home in bed, but he stays when he can and stays and see he likes the band as well. They're good.
Well, you mentioned baseball. We started the show talking that regard, but we are World Series week is what it'll be taking place. But Seattle and Blue Jays tonight for the Game 7 to see who will take on the Dodgers. And your prediction? Why not?
Well, I would say Toronto, being the home team, will likely win the ball game. I haven't looked. I don't know who's pitching. Really
everybody will be pitching, Jeff.
Well, that's true. Everybody's available. If they didn't pitch yesterday, they'd probably be available today, regardless. But I'm hoping that the Mariners, who have never been to the World Series, I'd like to see them get there. I think that would be great. There'd also be a West Coast World Series, wouldn't it? Which wouldn't make the networks very happy, but also in Toronto, not going to make the networks very happy either. And, of course, they have been there. They have won it. Not once, but I think back-to-back they won the World Series.
They did. Joe Carter one year won it with a walk-off home run, but that's been, 25 years ago?
I don't know. A long time ago. Yeah. But they've had some outstanding players, and they're very good this year, and they do. I don't know where they rate as far as the league is concerned, but they've got to be in the top 5, 6 in runs scored. So they are really good, and they'll have their hands full with the Mariners, and one of them will win, and then they'll have a hands full with the Dodgers.
Well, you talk about the division that they're in with the Yankees and the Red Sox. From a national standpoint, it's hard to imagine anybody besides those two teams winning that division, but Toronto was the winner there. And
led most of the year.
Yeah.
It's I guess I have to be the true-blooded American. I want the United States team to win. Toronto's the only one that's not. But okay, that's all right.
The Blue Jays and the Seattle Mariners. Speaking of never been there before, who's the one team that's never made it to the Super Bowl in the NFL?
There's only one team?
I think I'm right in saying this.
I think you're maybe wrong about that, but I don't believe that the Detroit Lions have ever been to the Super Bowl.
Cleveland Browns, I know, have not. I was thinking they're the ones. You could be right. Let me say something that I was right about. 4:30 Thursday, October 30th, is what's known as Happy Hour, which will be a meet and greet with the men's basketball team. You get to see them practice, do a little scrimmage work against each other, talk to the players, get an autograph or two signed. 4:30 at Murphy Center. October 30th, that will be their exhibition game, so to speak.
I have not seen the changes to the gymnasium. Have you seen anything on the floor?
No, I don't think anything's.
It's down underneath.
Nothing's been done yet at all.
Oh,
Murphy
okay.
Center from that standpoint, other than the football team moving out. Plans are being made for about $100 million renovation for the place. Now that said, the new tempered glass was put in a couple of years ago. Which, Jeff, if you're there during the daytime, you recognize how much difference that really makes.
It has made a huge difference. It really has, and it's just more presentable. It's a great place to watch a ball game. I think it's a good place to watch a ball game, and I think a lot of the seats that maybe might not be what your choice. I think at Murphy Center somehow they've arranged it where you can get pretty good seats no matter where you sit.
Looking forward to what takes place there. Jeff, as far as high school football is concerned, let's go back to that just a second. Talking when Jeff brought it up, I think it appears to me Rockvale's probably going to be that fourth team in the deal, don't you think?
Very likely, yes. They've got Oakland, Blackman, Riverdale in some order will be 1, 2, 3. And Jeff Neal said he didn't know how they broke the tie, and I don't know anymore either. I don't know what their rules are currently. They've done a lot of different things over the years to break ties, and there are ties all over the state, just not usually us.
I know in basketball, because I was part of that, the same way. In basketball, each district or region set their own guidelines. I don't think there's a statewide TWSAA guideline saying how you have to break your region ties. That's set up within the region itself, I believe, and I don't know what those things would be. But you get a three-way tie, Jeff. That's got to be pretty complicated, wouldn't you think?
Well, yes, and I'm like, well, I just don't know. I don't know what they are. I don't agree. I think we ought to have the same rule in every region. Why wouldn't you have the same rule in every region?
I don't know. I
don't know either.
I'd like to say in basketball, I assume it's the same way. Well, TWSAA will tell you they don't care if you even hold a district tournament.
That is correct.
You just have to come up with some way to come up with 4 teams to go to the region.
Okay.
And you can seed them, you give it up, draw them out of a hat, play a tournament, which everybody does or whatever. And I tend to think that's probably the way they are with the 1, 2, 3, 4 seedings there. We don't know how don't care how you come up with it. You just need to send us 4 teams.
I still remember, and it was right comical. I was just there with Buddy Pate. I wasn't doing anything except eating the free meal. We were at the Western Sizzler, and somebody in town was hosting the thing, I guess. But anyway, I definitely remember somebody tied with somebody for something, and it involved Lebanon. I know that. So maybe it was Oakland, Lebanon. I don't remember. But anyway, they flipped a coin, and I still remember Campbell Brandon, who was a long-time friend of mine and a Murfreesboro boy, crawling around on the floor trying to find the coin to find out what it was, heads or tails. I don't remember what it was. I don't remember what he won or lost. I don't have any idea. My point is, they flipped a coin.
Yeah.
But for that, well, you could do that. If
that's always the last, whether there's 17 steps or 2.
Right.
Or 1. The coin flip is always the last one. You want to try to find some way to do it from a competition standpoint. The one thing that I do hate to see happen, I think it does happen in some places, point differential.
Yeah.
I hate to see teams saying, well, we need to build the score up to 35, 45-point win so that if it gets down to that tiebreaker, I've got that in my back pocket.
I don't like that either, and it encourages somebody to run up the score, not to win the game, but to for the future of breaking a tie. I don't care for that either. I don't like that. That's not really sportsmanship to me, but it happens. I'm kind of surprised in a way that we still have a tournament like all the thing, because the TSSAA, I don't believe they get any money from the district tournament. You got to get to the region, and then sub-states, in which they don't even call them sub-states anymore. But
if that's the case, that's the reason you play the district tournament, because you can in fact make some money.
You get a share of the cake that way. But anyway, we're going to start this March to March. How about that?
Have you just, as an aside, talked to anyone to share who in Rutherford County looks like in basketball is going to be pretty good?
I have not. No, I have not. Most people, and then this may be way off base, people that I have talked to, if they mention anybody in girls basketball, anybody, they mention Blackman.
Mm-hmm.
And that they'll be the team to beat. I have no idea whether they are or not. I do not know.
Well, I know she had a couple really good young, seemed like a freshman or two, that ended up playing lots of minutes toward the end of the season. And Jeff, at that level, if you got freshmen that can play, and you got two of them or whatever like that, it bodes pretty well for your future.
That's correct. And of course, with Blackman, and I'm not saying anything about anybody else, but it's probably true with them too, some of them. But with Blackman, you never have to say, well, now if the coach does a really good job. You don't have to worry about that with Blackman. That shouldn't be part of the discussion. They may not have any players. I don't know whether they do or not, but she'll do a good job.
Well, you can say that about the guys' side too. We discussed that before. I don't know if there's a better duo than Barry Wortman and Jennifer Grandstaff.
I told Scott Lawless that I thought he had the two best high school coaches in the state, and he said he wouldn't argue with me. I said, okay, don't argue.
Well, nobody would argue, Jeff Jordan.
Oh, yeah, they would.
Useless. All right, let's not argue about this. Let's head you off to dinner, head me off to the house. And
one other thing real quick, if you don't mind.
I don't mind.
This Saturday, Blackman Hall of Fame inductees will be honored at Blackman High School that morning. I have nothing whatsoever to do with it that morning. I'm part of their committee, but that's it. And I'll be there and eat a piece of chicken or something. But that is this Saturday morning at 10 o'clock at Blackman High School.
All right. That's going to wrap things up for today. See you tomorrow on All Sports Talk.
All Sports Talk on WGNS brought to you by State Farm agents Andy Womack and Deb Ensel, Chip Walters with Exit Realty, Bob Lamb and Associates, First Bank, Mike Tanzel with My Team Insurance, Parks Auction Company, JDW Services Home Restoration and Remodeling, Greg Hall with Hall's Auto Care, Steve Ruckert with RAI Advisors, Rayburn Insurance in Smyrna, Creekside at Three Rivers, and Jennings & Ayers Funeral Home.